Stepped on the thing. It scared me. Sorry, it scared me.
Thought you were just excited.
That too. And we're doing it. Welcome. My name is Dean. With an E and an A. No two E's. No I's. And only one E.
Well, you have two eyes, but...
That was well done. Good thing I got laser eye.
And I'm Dave.
Not David?
Sometimes.
When's the sometimes? Not now.
Whenever you feel like, I don't care.
Right on.
We are back for our second iteration with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Rated R, so...
You know, it was really hard to find the rating for this movie. I checked IMDb and Wikipedia, and it was not readily apparent what the rating of the movie was.
Where was it?
I had to find like a parent's website that for like rates movies for kids, and like I had a detailed breaking down of like there was like bars explaining like the three metrics that go into how the Ratings Association rates a movie.
So how did this one get rated R?
Oh man, I can't remember, but I was just impressed that there was like three like power bars describing the level of which like this broke the threshold. So
that sounds like a discussion for
another day.
Another day.
Let's understand the
we'll
rating
go into
systems.
detail, but if you are curious, keep listening because we will go into it one day. There are cuss words, may I say, even dare I say swear words. So that usually jacks it up pretty good. We have the two Dans, Dan and Daniel. Hey, they use both of them, but together they're the Daniels.
Yeah, and produced by the Russo brothers, who've done such films as, you know, The Avengers and a lot of other huge Marvel movies. They also were producers on my favorite TV show, Community.
Great TV show. Yeah, good call on that. I didn't know that the Russos did. We'll talk about them another time.
They're
I didn't know
huge.
that they did Community.
We could do a whole episode
Marvel.
on them. We should do a whole episode on them.
Again, keep listening. Not only will you hear ratings, or about how ratings are done, but you'll hear about the Russo brothers. Composer for the music, soundtrack's amazing. First of all, Sun Lux. It's a trio, so it's David. Oh, sorry, they collaborated with David Byrne, Andre 2000, 3000, not just 2000, 3000, the better version, and Randy Newman. They're an amazing trio, and when you were telling me about this, I did some research on it too. Not to brag, but Wiki got me pretty good. When they went about it, the producers decided, instead of having the trio focus on making music as one, they all separately did their own parts into it. Mainly because when you look at it, like, it's hard to find the rating. It's also hard to find the genre because it's a martial arts movie.
Yeah.
It's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It's a suspense movie. It's dramatic, but it's also a comedy with lots of action.
Right. Yeah.
They always said martial arts and action. It's all the same. It's action. I don't know why they just differentiate.
Yeah, but you can have action without martial arts.
That is true. That's very true.
Yeah. The movie is 2 hours, 19 minutes. I don't think we said that. But
No, that's a good point, though. I think it's the 19, not 20. Close. They're almost there. Almost making it to 2020. But budget $25 million. They currently, like, over the box office hit over $100 million. Yeah, over 100. Surpassing A24's recent record, which was Hereditary in 2018.
which I also want to see as well.
Yeah, so that's scary, though.
Yeah.
This was scary enough for me. There were some scary times. People were getting into fights. I was getting startled.
There was some cool shit. We got Michelle Yeoh as a main character, Evelyn. We got Hugh Kwan, I believe I said that correctly. I don't know.
Who, first of all, I love his voice.
Right? Yeah, no, he's just so energetic.
Energetic, very polite.
Yeah.
Was Short Round in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Was Data in The Goonies.
His name was Data. Wow, I didn't even remember their names. Good job.
Thank you. Luckily, again, looking it up does wonders. But if you're listening and you're looking to adopt a child who is now a man, I'm available. Because through this movie, Ki Hu Kwan, seemed like the best father. Great voice, very calm. Loved his role in it, and he's convinced me that I will take him on as a father.
Good to know.
It was a great interview.
If you're listening, okay.
Stephanie Hugh
Hadn't seen her before in anything, but she did a great job.
did a very good job. James Hong,
Legendary actor. Like, you can, even if you don't know his name, I didn't know his name, but you would recognize him in everything in the last probably 30 years, probably. Like, very familiar face.
and of course Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, which was a surprise to see. I had no idea she was going to be in this movie.
No idea, but star-studded cast all around. Everyone's done like different genres, different areas, so it's cool to bring them all together for that. Yeah, Stephanie Hugh, or Sue. What's she been in? Is there been anything else?
I don't recognize her. No, like I'm sure she's been in a few things, but I couldn't place her in a film that I'd seen recently.
Daughter, right?
Played the daughter, yeah.
That's right. I got it right. Didn't even research it. And I knew that.
So the movie was filmed between January and March of 2020. So it basically kind of just finished principal photography around the time that the pandemic started. So crazy time. And in LA, in California, which was, you know,
California.
had a lot going on down there during that time. So just kind of made it in, and it came out, I think, it was released this year. So 2 years kind of after. So I don't know if it seems like a bit delayed, but especially for a smaller film, I would say. But
is it small? Well, it's for $25 million. I guess that is pretty small.
25. Yeah, I'd say like it's like, I mean, $1 million is a lot of money, but as far as big budget films go, yeah, 25 I think is a reasonable amount. Synopsis is basically that Evelyn is a middle-aged laundromat owner living on an uninspired life, currently embroiled in a battle with the IRS until she is thrust into a wacky multiverse facing destruction. She soon learns that she is the only one that can stop the end of the world. Will she rise to the occasion and save her family at the same time?
And not to give it away, but she did a good job.
She found her way.
Always does. Originally, when the film was written, so apparently like the Daniels brothers were looking in like to the multiverse and going into that kind of genre since 2010, and then in 2016 that's when they started writing or developing this movie.
Okay.
whatever the phrasing would call. They actually wanted to put, instead of Michelle Yeoh, wanted to go Jackie Chan,
Right.
who again does a great job of mixing martial arts and action.
And even comedy too, you know?
Well, mixing like that physical side
Yeah.
with the acting side,
Right.
where not only can you perform like physically, but vocally too, and throw in emotions. And Michelle Yeoh is the exact same, where amazing action scenes. A lot of, like, if you put her in a silent movie, it would go very well. But if you put her in just like a voice acting, like animation style, she'd kill it too. She has all that styles, and it really came through. So I'm very happy with that cast change.
I mean, it did just seem, I mean, they've been in movies together before. I think they've shared the screen a few times, but you definitely felt like this was like an older 90s Jackie Chan film. I definitely got that vibe from this movie throughout.
Right on. Wraps up the old synopsis introduction. Dave, what do you think about this movie?
So, you know, my feelings on this movie have changed a little bit.
For the good or bad?
For the good. I initially enjoyed it. You really loved it. And I thought about it more, and I was like, you know what? I actually, after I had time to kind of process it, I think I really enjoyed it too. I don't really have much bad to say about it. I thought it was a very unique movie. I thought it was, it challenged your expectations in so many ways, visually, with the story, and just the characters, and just the whole, everything involved with it was very refreshing. The action was great. The cinematography was great. The special effects were great. The acting was great.
Was there something that specifically changed your mind from being just like a good movie to a great movie?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think maybe I was just initially just unnecessarily critical, maybe. It's not like I didn't enjoy it, but I don't know. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? I was very fulfilled by this movie. I thought it had a lot of value. I thought the story was interesting. I thought it's relevant to like anyone that watches it. And the reason that I saw this movie in the first place was just like I had heard other people say this was their favorite movie, and I was just very shocked by that in this day and age, especially like, you know, the kind of movies that have come out in the last few years, especially. There haven't been many, especially because of the pandemic. And so I was curious to investigate this movie and just see what could make someone feel that way, right? And I definitely got that initially, but I think even more so now that I've had time to kind of think it over, I get where they're coming from. I think this is a movie that the type of movie that we haven't seen in a while, and I think it like has elements of so many different movies that I enjoy. Like I think of like Donnie Darko to some degree, that even The Matrix on some level too. There's a Doctor Strange movie in Multiverse of Madness that just came out. There's a lot of parallels to that, but I think this movie explores the multiverse in just a more heartfelt and original and interesting way. And yeah, I thought of Interstellar, I thought of Inception. There's just a lot of movies that I feel like this shares a close connection to, while also it being about a mother and daughter and a family and a failing marriage, and just tying all these like very heartfelt, these storylines together while being entertaining and funny and having crazy action and like cool fight scenes. Yeah, no, I was just very impressed at the end of the day. And I think more than anything, I had no expectations, and maybe that's why, right? I didn't really know what to think about it, and just coming out of it, it gave you so much. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Kind of segueing, I'll ask you a question, but kind of going into my thoughts. So it was a movie where, being with the multiverse concept, it was confusing, and it took some time, especially in the beginning, trying to think. You're like, okay, like I don't really know what's going on, but I'm sure they're going to explain it.
Right.
And then I want to say around maybe a third of the way through, I found, for myself at least, I went from being confused along with the characters where I was following the plot, but then when they did start sprinkling in the information and the concept became clear to the character, I found they did a really good job relaying the information, not just like on a written story point for the rest of like the characters to understand it and for the story to make sense, but I could figure it out myself. Where when you watch a movie like Inception or The Matrix also makes sense. There are some weird moments in it, but like Inception was one where also but there are some weird moments where you're not 100%. I found that they did an excellent job describing it to me.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why I really liked it, because it was complicated and made you think. It was sad, it was funny, it was physical, but I also understood it. So I got the points right away. Do you find that with yourself? Maybe that's why because then also like anything else, the more you sit and rewatching the trailer, knowing it, you pick up a little more, and that either makes you like it more or less. Do you find that's maybe why you liked it a little more?
I think so. I think I also enjoy movies that just challenge you a bit more. Like this is a movie that you could watch again and get more out of, right? And you can't say that about all movies, but I think that's why, especially like I appreciate a movie like this. Is like I got a lot out of it just on the first watch, but I could watch it again and probably gain a whole other better understanding and appreciation for the story and the characters, right? So
would you watch it again?
I would, yeah, no, I think I definitely would watch it again. It's like a movie that you would definitely want to would want to share with other people in that you'd watch it again and you'd still get something out of it, and they'll get something out of it being their first watch.
That being my point exactly, though. Yeah. It is a movie I really like, and I would like to watch again. Actually, while looking it up, I know some posters, and I was like, oh, actually, maybe if I was going to pick up a poster for a movie, this would definitely be...
And it'd be a good poster.
There was a couple, and then the first one I saw was very colorful, almost like a big circle, with Michelle in the middle of it, and it looked amazing.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That one looked really good. But I had the same thought where even though I loved it, and it was an amazing movie... I would like to watch it again, but with somebody else. I don't know if I would watch it alone.
Oh, thanks.
So
I want to watch it again, just not with you.
No. Sorry. I don't mean somebody else by you. Although now that I think about it, that makes sense. No, I couldn't watch it alone. Like if you wanted to watch it again, I'd watch it with you, but I wouldn't go home and say, well, that's what I meant to say. It turns out I've said a few things wrong recently where I've sounded like hurtful, and then I just realized I was too silly to actually realize what I actually said. So I just mean I would not watch it alone. I would have to have another person with me to watch it.
Fair enough.
Not that I have to, but I would enjoy it more with somebody. Not somebody else, but just somebody. And you are still available for it. Oh. We do have a movie rental when we got the 2 popcorn deal, so we can watch it again.
We could watch it again.
So I guess this kind of leads into the discussion. I'm going to tickle your toes. So, do I? Oh, yeah, sorry. I was too infatuated with tickling your toes. If that's even the word, infatuated and infatuized. We're going to discuss this movie now. Moving on.
Yeah.
Toes and all. Although, speaking about toes, great segue. Hot dog fingers.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see those, but they are very entertaining.
We don't want to give too much away. This isn't a spoiler, but if you watch the trailer, you will notice there's a scene with fingers. Fingers that where you could almost just say pure hot dogs.
Yeah.
And not spoilers, but like if you've seen the movie, it makes sense. And it's in the trailer, but just being described, there are hot dog fingers.
There's more to it in the movie than you think there is. It's not just like a little throwaway. So, yeah, that was good. That was just like one of the nice, fun little surprises in this movie. We got that. We got rocks. We got,
Rocks. There was also googly eyes.
Googly eyes.
There was a raccoon in a cage in the trailer.
Right.
Which, if you've seen the movie, is another great reference to another movie.
Yeah.
And that arguably, with the rocks... No, the rocks aren't the rocks were hilarious, though. Yeah. Because the rocks really got me... Okay, this might be a spoiler, so wait 30 seconds. Wait a couple minutes. I'll let you know when it's done. So if you don't want spoilers, don't listen now. But to Dave and everyone else. The fact that they didn't talk, they didn't have to talk. They had the rock scene, and there were subtitles. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It was that. I think that's what really got me. Like, this movie has so many different aspects, and that's why even genre-wise, was it, just like right now, what would you call it as a genre? Somebody said what kind of movie?
So I was kind of reading that too, and I think, I've seen it labeled as a dark comedy, and I kind of like gravitate towards that. I would say because like I feel like a dark comedy can encapsulate all the physical action and just kind of like
the thriller side, because there was a bit of a thriller side in a certain sense.
Sure, yeah,
and drama, the drama, and the
drama and all that kind of stuff. So, and I feel like darker comedies are funny, but they are still like emotional, and there's still a lot of other things going on in them. Right? They're a bit unconventional. So, and I feel like this movie really hit that.
It hit the yeah. Actually, I was gonna say comedy, action, sci-fi, but yeah, really kind of down dark comedy, sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of the whole fact of a multiverse, I would throw that under sci-fi.
Sure.
But the dark comedy, you're right, that is a good encapsulation. Because what made me really like the movie was the fact that they hit some really, really sad topics about like how the struggles between a mother with her father.
Yeah.
And then that mother not getting along with the daughter, not realizing that it's the same kind of parental... Oh, yeah, you can listen back for the spoiler on the whole fucking rock thing there. But, yeah, they handled, like, the drama really well. Because there were some very emotional moments. Like, yeah, again, just talking about family relations and how sometimes you might be treated a certain way and you think, I'm not going to treat my son or daughter or whoever, my child, that way. And without knowing it, you become the person you didn't want to be. Yeah. And then it gives you also a sense of, oh, if I didn't realize what I was doing, maybe my parent didn't know what I was doing. Right. So I found they handled a lot of those difficult, like that's where like the drama and a lot of these hard situations, but they could take it full force. So I felt like it felt very emotional, and it felt very real, and it felt like a very accurate description. But then they could still make you laugh. Totally. And they could still move with that being like part of the story. Yeah. And so I think that's one of the reasons why I really, really like this movie. Yeah. Is every section they decided to dive into, I felt like it was well researched. I felt like they portrayed it appropriately, but I also felt like they were able to take a sad moment, go with it, and then move on, make it funny, and make you be able to laugh again and kind of not forget about it, but not make you feel sad throughout the whole movie. Sure. They could take you on that emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, and I think they expressed all those aspects, the sad, the aspects of family and the struggles with relationships, whether it be with your significant other or your child or your father, and kind of make those interesting within the multiverse and kind of just, express it in a different way, or like shine a light on those aspects, those relationships in a different way that was new and interesting. And I think, like you said, kind of is this emotional roller coaster throughout the movie. And you really, really didn't know where, at some point, like a third of the way through, you would, or 2/3 of the way through, you would kind of feel like you don't know where this is going because there's just so many places it can go. And it has been, right? Hot dog fingers and Raccacoonie and, all this other kind of stuff.
And then, diving into that, it really dealt well. So speaking about all the sad, it could take, so basically there's a big part about nihilism, right? We're like, what does everything mean? What's all this and that? And they even kind of poke fun at, like, because that was kind of a millennial trend for a long time where life doesn't even mean anything, man. Like, whatever, fuck it. And nihilism kind of became, so they're able to take those sentiments, like, describe about, again, through, like, the eyes of the daughter, where she shows you how hard she's tried, how many restraints she's been through, and how that shaped her to think no matter what I do as a person, I won't be accepted, and that nothing actually matters. But then poking fun and like they
straddle a line, I think, the whole way, right? They're very good at showing you, oscillating between both sides of, like, it being maybe sad and dark and being lighthearted and poking fun at itself. And I think, there's a lot of entertainment value from that.
Thank you, good save. I realized I was just talking, and almost in a way my sentence was nihilistic because I was like, it just doesn't matter. I'm just going to stop right there.
We should just stop this podcast right now.
Stop it, yeah. No, sometimes when you talk, it's worth it just to stop because it doesn't matter. As Dan the Convert, if there's nothing else to add, just point it out and move on.
No, I totally agree. I wanted to also share with you, because I don't know if you know this, but so Randy Newman was the voice of the Raccacoonie.
No way.
So he was credited as a voice for that. The funny thing about that is Randy Newman has done the score for 9 Pixar films. Ratatouille is not one of those. That was interesting to me. I was like, what? Interesting. So they kind of did a little joke towards that. He plays the voice of this character, but he did not score that movie, but he scored, like, the majority of the other Pixar movies.
That is hilarious. That's like his little way of getting back.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
They're like, we'll take Seth Rogen, but we're not gonna take Randy Newman. They had to draw the line there, and that was his way of growing at them.
Yes.
I can play a raccoon. It's always my go-to when I impersonate him, which is
it's the only song of his I know.
Yeah, same actually.
Like, I know his name's famous, but I only know that song.
I saw him at Pemberton Festival. He was there.
Oh, really? Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, one of the Pemberton Festivals is Randy Newman.
Oh, wow. I remember seeing Jay-Z and, like, Coldplay at...
Well, you missed one hell of a gig, I'll tell you that. You missed one of a man on a piano for an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay, that would be good with the piano.
It was him playing it. It was quite good.
Nice.
It was very funny. Oh, yeah, I saw it with Doug Benson and Brian Posehn. They were both there.
Doug Benson.
Yeah, they were very high, and because that was when they also did, like, comedy sets and stuff.
Didn't he do Super High Me or no? Or didn't he do?
I can't recall. Oh, the podcast, right?
He did some kind of podcast.
Yeah, he did, where he's very big.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were very high. They were watching Randy Newman. They just walked beside us. They're like, Randy Newman on? They're like, yeah, cool. We just watched it with them.
Wow.
What are the short and curlies of it? What are you going to rate this movie? What are your thoughts? Queries, concerns?
Yeah, we talked
feelings, vibes.
We talked about this before. I'm actually going to give this a full bush. A 9 out of 10.
Full bush.
Full bush. Yeah, no, I think this movie is worth your time. I think it's worth checking out, especially in theaters. I think it's streaming now. I was reading recently. So I think it's definitely a movie to kind of put on and just kind of challenge your expectations. And, I don't know. At the end of the day, it just kind of reminds me of, like, a live action, like, manga or anime where there's, like, an emotional punch. There's a real story. But there's also a lot of, like, action and craziness and drama. And I think it's worth your time. And I think everyone should check it out.
Actually, just to add on your point there about, like, a live action manga, with the special effects and, like, the sci-fi feels, they did a lot of things in the movie that weren't goofy. They were very well done. Were able to add to the story in a way that you don't see too often. Like rewatching a Matrix, kind of like they've added these. They just added these things that really we haven't seen. I don't think I've seen a movie recently that could pull off the special effects the way they did. without taking away from some of the story or making that a focal point. They were able to balance it out, and that's why I'd also give it a full bush too. 9 out of 10. And I'm a pretty generous. I'm a pretty generous rater. I'm a big fan of things.
So you're gonna say bush giver, maybe?
Bush giver, yeah. I'm
generous with the bush.
I'm generous with a bush or two. But for this movie, I really mean it.
Tell all the ladies that.
Yeah. So 18 out of 20 bush-wise, that's a damn fine bush. You know what that means? It's any bush you like. If you like it shorter, if you like it longer, that's what it is. It's 18 out of 20. It's nearly perfect.
And those are the short and curlies.
Of everything.
I'm Dave.
I was hoping you'd finish the rest of the movie.
Oh, shit. I didn't even clue into that.
I'm Dean. Thank you for listening. I guess we can say it if you want.
All at once? Everywhere?
Oh. Thank you for listening, and
we'll be back soon.
Yeah. We're going to fuck off now. See ya. Craving a movie podcast with wicked wit and sizzling style?
Look no further. Dean and Dave Do Movies is your ticket to nonstop cinematic fun.
Don't miss a beat. Rate us 5 stars, subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts,
and share our show with fellow film fanatics.